Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I am the Crypto Crow, and the first thing I want to do is apologize. I want to apologize because I've been slacking on this channel. I'm very well aware. I've been doing what I can just to keep the algorithm flowing a little bit, but I've been so busy. But I did get so much stuff wrapped up today that I can finally get back to doing some more interesting stuff on this channel. It has been... I locked down my Bitcoin ATM machine provider. Contract is done. Down payment was sent. They split the payments in half because you send half up front, you get the machines on order, everything comes in, and then the other half also includes shipping expenses and things like that. I'm not going to say who I went with yet or exactly what I did. I will say that I paid my 50% deposit with just one Bitcoin because it went up $12,800 today. I actually wicked at $13,000, and I'm very, very happy about that. Why did that happen? Well, I think there's a few different reasons, but primarily I think it's obvious that it was the big news from PayPal. But we're going to look into this PayPal news because, quite frankly, I think it's a bunch of bunk. I really do. I've always had kind of a problem with PayPal ever since they seized up like 30 grand of my honestly earned money and made me jump through a bunch of hurdles just to get access to it once again, which they finally did do, but not without shock and awe. And I was completely appalled by the way that whole situation went down. And, I have no plans whatsoever to use PayPal to buy cryptocurrency. And there's quite a few reasons why, but we're going to look into that. But if you see, Bitcoin peaked out at $13,005. And then we got a reversal, which is common. When you get a pump of this magnitude, this is just a 5-minute chart here. So this whole thing has been the pump. Now, if we want to go into like a 15-minute chart, you can break things down a little bit further. Money flow is in the green. So, typically when you're talking about market cipher, you're trying to buy when the money flow is in the red. And ultimately you're looking to follow this trail up and sell it in the green because there's typically a reversal. Now, this is probably going to be the case. However, the reversal is already starting to thin out, and we might go even further. We might start seeing a $14,000 to $15,000 Bitcoin in the relatively near future. I did a video a little bit ago where I did talk about, I've seen guys like Ivan on Tech talk about, are we going to see a big crash? Is October going to swallow us? And I went back in history and I looked at the month of October pretty much since the beginning. And the worst I ever saw in a month of October was accumulation. Everything else typically has been a very nice solid uptrend throughout the month. And if we did get a dip, it was typically in November, but that was also in a bear market. In a bull market, typically October loads the gun and points it, and November fires that round. And I'm honestly expecting to see a bullish November, especially with the election. And because even during months of October and November heading into an election, which I think I covered in that video a bit, it's still pretty bullish. But we have seen some significant drops in the month of November during a bear market, which we are obviously not in. So I expect October to load that gun and November to send us through. And like I said before, I expect to see a $20,000 Bitcoin by the end of this year. And I also want to let everybody know, if you're not necessarily into manual trading and you like bot trading, so we have recently launched the Murder of Crows strategy. I'm telling you, get into the Telegram group, ask the people in there what they think of it. I did a video before where I talked about my 13/34 EMA crossover indicators, which is obviously very common. But what I did was a back test where I ignored the middle area of the RSI, and I only bought and sold when there was a crossover, but that crossover correlated to a particular RSI level. And it was virtually fail-proof for the most part. Obviously, that's not a guarantee. You never know. Anything could happen. But I was up significantly. I think I was doing like 28% earnings over like each week of trading. And I multiplied that and I did a whole bunch of numbers on it. So we basically created this murder of crows strategy within the bot that's not identical to that strategy. It's honestly not as foolproof either. So there are going to be ebbs and flows. But this strategy is going to absolutely murder the bull market. Murder the bull market. I'm in the middle of a trade right now where I'm up pretty well on a Bitcoin USD tether trade, and I am absolutely insanely bullish about this indicator. And I'm not just saying that. You guys know, if you watch my channel, I do not pump you full of crap, and I don't even talk about my bot unless I'm using it, having fun with it, and it's doing well for me. This strategy on the bot has been proven to do pretty well so far. So, in light of November 22nd being my birthday for this old ogre, I'm basically running a 35% off sale. So get it while you can. Obviously, we're looking to take advantage of the Bitcoin activity and everything going on in the space. Let's get in, let's start trading, and make sure you join the Telegram community for a lot of help, support. The developers in there, a lot of power users are in the group, always eager and willing to help newcomers, so make sure you check that out. Now, Trader's Digest. After $12,000 Bitcoin is heading to 14,300 before 2021. Very likely. Characterized by an explosive rally in the last 24 hours, Bitcoin just took back this year's high again. But a popular TradingView-based analyst is calling for Bitcoin to hit 14.3. This is based on the underlying trend line analysis, which according to him is the most consistent trend line since March. Interesting stuff here. Bitcoin testing the underlying trend line. So as per Trading Shot, I actually like this person. A widely popular Bitcoin analyst, all the signs are pointing to Bitcoin rallying to higher price points. How high? Now, here's the thing. When I see stuff like this, I'm like, this makes sense. I mean, I appreciate the phases of the channel and all of that, and it's very well calculated. It definitely makes a lot of sense. It may very well be accurate. But what I also know is that when we have catalysts, such as the PayPal news, PayPal finally saying, hey, we are going to start accepting cryptocurrency purchases, right? So everybody sees that, and they're thinking, wow, there are going to be like 350 million people throughout all over the place that are going to be able to start getting into the crypto space. However, if you think about something like a Robinhood app, where you're basically trading traditional stocks or even crypto, depending on where you live, there are no keys and there are no withdrawals. What I consider this and what they're ultimately doing is paper trading on a centralized ledger. That's it. They're basically saying, okay, you, sir, are entitled to a little bit of Bitcoin on paper, and you can't do anything with it. You can buy it and you can sell it, and they'll hold the ledger in their centralized systems. But the entire thing ultimately negates the very premise of cryptocurrency as a whole. And so when I think about and on top of that, the fees, they're definitely looking to capitalize. Wow, that was loud. They're definitely looking to capitalize on the idea that newcomers don't have a clue what they're doing, but they likely have a PayPal account. And they don't know what they're getting in for either. Now, I don't know. Let's just go through some of this article here. PayPal, the $250 billion payments conglomerate, is allowing its users to buy and sell Bitcoin along with other crypto assets. While the general sentiment remains positive, industry experts are dissatisfied for a lot of good reasons. In an official announcement, PayPal president and CEO Dan Schulman confirmed that the platform would allow the buying and selling of cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin. It would also enable cryptocurrency payments for 26 million merchants, enabling cryptocurrencies to finance digital commerce. I'll stick with uTrust, thank you. PayPal supporting Bitcoin and other major cryptocurrencies undoubtedly buoy the image of the sector and the asset class. It further strengthens the perception of Bitcoin as an established store of value and cryptocurrencies as recognized assets. That's wonderful, but you're not telling us anything we didn't already know, and why there's so many people and a growing exponential number that are getting into it without PayPal. Now, granted, the news is bullish, right? I get it. You got the big regulated institutions who are getting into the space, but are they really doing new adopters any real favors? Now, potentially, it could be a situation like, when everybody was pumping Facebook and LBRY and all of that, and we're all thinking, you know what, it's not really a decentralized thing. It's a basket full of currencies dropped into one cryptocurrency, yada, yada, yada. And even though it doesn't necessarily match the overall goal of blockchain technology overall, it could bring people into the space and start getting them used to using cryptocurrencies for different things. And at which point they continue to educate themselves and move outwardly from there. Maybe this is something that PayPal does. Maybe this starts bringing more people to the forefront, bringing people into the space, enabling them to purchase a little bit of crypto. So Grandma Kettle can go to PayPal, and when they're sending out their gift card notes and everything for their PayPal currencies, they say, you know what, I'm going to pick up $25 in Bitcoin, and I'm going to tell my grandsons that my grandkids that I own Bitcoin and really impress them. And that's cool, but you don't really own the Bitcoin. You own your name is on a ledger in a centralized system, and attached to your name is $100 worth of Bitcoin. And if the Bitcoin value goes up, you can sell that piece of paper at a profit. But you don't get any keys. You don't actually control it or hold it. So what happens if a bunch of people are going to PayPal and they're buying up all this Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and then something happens to where, the regulators say, oh, sorry, we think this is a security now. And then boom, PayPal locks it down and you're screwed. How does that work? Because I do not foresee PayPal doing this in favor of consumers. I see them doing this in favor of protecting their own tails. Now, the flip side to that is maybe they've already done a lot of this regulatory framework. They've already established themselves. They've already worked things out, because they're not going to do this as a risk, or they would have done this a long time ago, right? So, and there's obviously a reason why, and then maybe there are some regulatory things that say, look, you never touch the crypto really, so we're not actually selling it to you. We're just you're giving us some money, and we're holding a piece of paper that says you have something that you really don't have. And so maybe there's some regulatory loopholes that they're exploiting. I don't know. I don't understand a lot of this stuff, quite frankly, but I just don't feel that great about it. This is the highlight of the PayPal news for me. They're not only preventing withdrawals to self-custody, meaning they're not going to let you don't buy $100 worth of Bitcoin and then withdraw it on your own wallet that you're holding on to. So that's self-custody. They won't even allow transfers between accounts. So you can't buy Bitcoin and then send it directly to your uncle, right? I'd be glad to speak with PayPal's legal team about why these restrictions aren't required for regulatory compliance. Since users cannot withdraw Bitcoin, they purchase from their PayPal accounts to other accounts for now. Some industry executives have started to question if that would still be considered Bitcoin. No. If I sell you a crayon, let's say I'm selling you a blue crayon, but I'm holding the blue crayon, but I'm going to give you a piece of paper with a little blue crayon blotch on it. That's closer to owning the crayon than what these guys are doing with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Let's face it. At least then you got a little crayon blotch on a piece of paper. This is just your name on a ledger. I mean, this is basically what Robinhood does ultimately with traditional stocks and everything else. You're never holding it. PayPal's crypto offering has some caveats. Users won't be able to withdraw, and it's expensive. You have to pay a spread and fees. Buying and selling cryptocurrencies. The transaction fees are based on how much cryptocurrency you buy or sell. The exchange rate you'll see before buying or selling crypto will also include a cryptocurrency conversion spread. There's no fee for holding crypto in your account, because you're not really holding crypto in your account. That's the thing. It's not the same. So yeah, this is kind of nuts. $25 to $100, you're paying 2.3% of the purchase or sale amount. Listen, to each their own, but I'm not overly impressed with it, and I'm not all that excited about it. I'm excited about the sentiment that it's establishing to all of the newcomers and the newbies and everything, but overall, I think the traditional means that we've already established so far to obtain cryptocurrency is going to work out just fine. And look, hey, I'm getting ready to launch a Bitcoin ATM operation in 2 states for a reason, because I think that when you buy your crypto, you should be able to access it and have it and send it to your wallet, and you should be able to control it. So we'll see. Last bit of thing here that I thought was actually pretty interesting, and I have not watched the entire thing, but Stellar CEO to be part of the IMF panel on cross-border payments. Now, basically what the IMF has been doing is they put together a conference, and they brought in a lot of private sector financial CEOs and various people to discuss ultimately the new world order of finance and who's going to play a role in it and who's going to do what. Now, what's funny is that, and I mentioned this before, is that there was a long time ago. Let me see. Okay, so when you see this, and you can pull it up, but I actually did a video quite a while back about the one world currency, and there was this old, I think it was like a Times magazine cover, and it had the eagle on it, and it had this giant coin in the middle of it. Well, a lot of people don't realize that this rocket ship was Stellar's original logo, and they've since changed it to this symbol that almost looks like Saturn, right? But this is actually pretty daggone close to the icon that was on the cover of the Times magazine, basically explaining the new world currency and that it would be a cryptocurrency and all that fun stuff. So look it up if you're curious. Let me know, what do you guys think of this PayPal stuff? What do you guys think about what's going on in the news today? Are you excited? Do you think we're going to see a $14,000-$15,000 Bitcoin over the next few weeks even? Or are we going to go and we're going to get a big flash crash down to 11 grand? Let me know what you guys are thinking. I also want to let you guys know that what's coming soon. I have an interview with Crypto Face and Market Cipher, and I've got a little intro that I'm going to be shooting for that, because I'm going to be doing like a week-long case study on Market Cipher, where I'm going to be actively making trades on my demo account, because that's all I can get access to. But I'm going to be making these trades solely using Market Cipher, and I want to see how long it takes me to make Market Cipher pay for itself. I'm going to guess 3 trades depending on how much I'm trading with. But let me know in the comments if I'm doing a week-long case study as to how much can be earned using the Market Cipher indicator. How much do you think I should be trading with back and forth? $1,000 in Bitcoin, $200 in Bitcoin? Give me your ideas to what you guys think I should do, and the comment with the most likes and replies, I will set as my starting standard capital for a week-long case study for Market Cipher. Let me know where you're at. Until next time, guys, thanks for joining me. Crow your coins, and I'll see you again soon.